community is awesome.
Take us through the incident with Creighton getting ejected and you telling the umpire that he's going to have to be the one to do it.
Yeah, so that was more the eye in the sky replay in Pittsburgh. I wouldn't put the blame on anything other than the way the rule is written, is if anyone leaves their position. I understand the intent of the rule. Sometimes impact doesn't match intent. The rule is if a guy is on the bases or is on the field and they leave to get into an altercation, they're ejected. In this situation, Jack Creighton was on second base. He was rounding third because of the swinging bunt, and he was already on his way home. The play ends with a tag and then the altercation. Caglione and then, Nolan, they have contact, whether Nolan put his arms out. It's really not the point. There was an altercation between Nolan and Jack Caglione. I felt like those were the two guys. If you want to look at who's getting ejected, it starts with those two. Jack Creighton rounding third and coming to home and then taking a left turn and joining his teammates, like that's where he's naturally going anyways. That's where he's going to start the next inning. That's where normally that's where he would, if talking about leave his position, well, that's where he's supposed to go. He's supposed to go back to the dugout. I don't know where else, if he's just supposed to stop and go back to third or what, but that just seemed like one of those ones where the rule, created a cloud over maybe just common sense, and so that was, I didn't understand that of all the people that could get ejected on the field, why Jack Creighton was the one. But the rule that probably needs to be clarified further with a rule change. And then I had to eject Cam Canarella last year in the regional, and that sucked, and no one knew what was going on. And Cam Canarella and Christian Moore were like passing each other. They weren't just running off the field with some competitive banter, some words exchanged as they went by. No one heard it, no one knew it. One umpire heard it, and Angel Campos came over and he said something, he's ejected, you got to eject him. And I just felt like that was, I'm not doing that. I'm not the one to eject the players. If there needs to be an ejection, the umpires can do it. That's their job.
Erik, is it frustrating after what many people are describing as one of the greatest college baseball games ever, including Cam Canarella saving your season twice? We're talking largely about the officiating.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Yeah, you want the officiating to govern the game, not necessarily influence the outcome of the game when emotions are connected and personalities are connected with how it's being officiated. You just want that to be as simple of a process, and just you don't want either side to feel like there was an influence one way or the other by officiating. But that's sport, that's competitive sport, and that happens. It's just the frequency of the back-to-back years where we're talking about it. But Cam Canarella's catch, my opinion, and I've heard from quite a few people, so this is not just my opinion, but the greatest catch they've seen in baseball ever. Given the stakes, given everything. I mean, that kid, he's a human highlight reel. There's nobody more competitive than Cam Canarella, and I love him. I love everything about him. I love his fierce competitive spirit. I love the fire he plays with. Wouldn't change one thing about how he plays. He is a throwback. He is just as good as it gets.